Hello, my name is Zach Gibbs, and I'm a content developer within education services inside Juniper Networks. And today we will be going through the extra USB storage for EX series devices Learning Byte. All right, so here in our example, we have an EX virtual chassis. This is actually EX2300C, so two EX2300C devices in a virtual chassis. And both nodes in this virtual chassis do not have enough space to complete an upgrade. We're going to upgrade the Junos version, not enough space. And so what we want to do is we want to mount a USB stick. It's already plugged in right now. And then we want to use that USB device to upgrade the virtual chassis. That is the Junos version on the virtual chassis itself. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is this is actually something that can be used for other devices like SRX devices. However, the reason why I'm using it with an EX device, specifically an EX2300C, is because the compact flash storage on these devices is rather small, and that is not enough storage space. And so with that, let's go ahead and jump to the CLI of this virtual chassis and get going. All right, so here is the CLI of the virtual chassis. And the first thing we'll do is we'll look at the system storage to see where we're at. And we can see here that both devices are pretty full on their main storage. It shows out of 1.3 gigs that they both only have 388 megabytes available. And that's 69% capacity used. And the actual image that we will be using to upgrade is going to be something like 330 megabytes. And so we can get it on the device using the compact flash on the actual devices themselves. However, there will not be enough space to unpack that. So what we want to do is we want to jump into the shell to start. And what you would normally have to do here is SU to root. Now, I'm already logged in as root, so I don't need to do that, but keep that in mind. And the other thing to keep in mind as well is that the USB should be formatted using FAT32. And if you have that done, you can get started with what I'm doing here. Now, the other thing we have to do is we have to figure out, okay, which device is the USB device in the file system. You can do that by doing an ls/dev/da star. And you see a few devices here, and this might seem a little confusing. And what I actually recommend you do, and I'm not going to do it right now because I know which device it is, but if you do this command before you plug in the USB device, and then you do this command after you plug in the USB device, you'll see a difference. And in our case, the device that we have here is the /dev/das1 is the actual USB device. And once you have that figured out, you need to make a directory that you're going to mount that device to. Let's go ahead and make a new directory with mkdir. We're just going to attach this var temp, call it USB. Helps if I spell it right. Okay, so we have that. Now we need to mount that device, the USB device, to that directory. When you use the mount_ms-dos-fs command, specify the device, and then specify the mount point, the directory we will be using. You can see that mounted just fine. And so we can check that out by doing the df-h command. And it'll be all the way at the bottom of this output, but we'll see here at the very bottom, we have the mounted to the var temp USB, the dev da1s1. And you can see here that it has 15 gigabytes, which is a lot more space than what is on the compact flash that is with the device. We can see that 344 megabytes are used. You got 14 or so gigabytes left, 2% used. There's a plenty of space on this. And so the reason why there is 344 megabytes is because I've already loaded the package on this device itself, the upgrade package. So we can look at what's in here. And there's some other stuff from when I formatted. I didn't use Junos to format it. This was formatted using I think a Windows box, actually. It was just one of those USB sticks I had lying around, actually. And we can see we have the Junos ARM 3220.2R2 11TGZ package on there. And so we'll use that to upgrade. So let's get out of the shell. We look at the version, we can see that we're on, what are we on? We're on 19.4R3, and we're going to be upgrading to 20.2R2. And so let's go ahead and do that. Request system software add, specify the directory and the package name. And we're going to use no validate since this is just a device I use at home. There's not a lot of config on here. I'm not worried about that. And then we're going to use unlink. And this will help because it doesn't leave the package, the remaining package on the device. It'll help with saving space. So we're going to use that unlink command. And probably should have added the reboot command, but that's all right. I can just reboot the device after the package installs. But this is going to take a while. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pause the video at this point, and then after a half hour or 20 minutes or so, however long it takes to upgrade the devices, I'll restart the video and we'll have a look at things. All right, the upgrade process, or at least the initial upgrade process, is complete. You can see here if I scroll up that we pushed the upgrade package to FPC 1, which is member 1, and then FPC 0, which is member 0, and everything worked out great. And now we just need a reboot. So I'm going to reboot this. And upon the reboot, we should have the new version of 20.2. Recall that we are currently using 19.4 for the version of code. And so 20.2 should become active after the reboot. And so that'll take a little bit. So I'll go ahead and pause the video again. And after the reboot is complete, which means the upgrade process will be complete, I'll start the video up and we can have a look at things. All right, so the EX virtual chassis has rebooted. Let's go ahead and log in. You can see here that we have successfully upgraded to 20.2 R2.11. So that's great. Now you might ask yourself, well, what about that USB device? And after the devices reboot in this virtual chassis, the USB device is no longer mounted. We jumped into the shell. And a df-h, we'll see that the USB device is not mounted. And you can see at the very bottom, we just have var temp. We don't have the var temp USB. And so that's still plugged in, but it's not mounted. We could remount that, remove the package that's on there, or whatever we need to do. So that brings us to the end of this Learning Byte. In this Learning Byte, we demonstrated how to mount and use a USB device with Junos, and then we demonstrated how to upgrade a Junos device using a USB device. So as always, thanks for watching.
Visit the Juniper Education Services website to learn more about courses. View our full range of classroom, online, and e-learning courses. Learning paths, industry segment and technology-specific training paths. Juniper Network's certification program, the ultimate demonstration of your competence. And the training community, from forums to social media. Join the discussion.